Well, it's just another slip-up. United had that winning mentality for a bit. 4 wins in a row or 3 wins. I can't remember if you include the Champions League against the young boys. But again, they were at home. And it's one of the downfalls of Mourinho's reign at Man United, where whenever they're at home against a team that on paper they should beat, it always ends up being a draw, Joe. Now, again, the reason why we're talking about Man United is because there was this quote from one of the United fans after the game, and it was the fact that the worst signing since Bebe is Alexis Sanchez. Now, the rumours have come out in the last 24 hours or so. It's only stuff from like the Express and all that, where Arsenal are favourites to get him back come January. Do you think, Joe, that because come January, it will mark 12 months of Sanchez's spell at Manchester United? Do you think the fans are getting a bit impatient? Because, okay, there has been a lot of games where you forget Sanchez is there. And there's times when I've seen him give the ball away very easily, which can be very frustrating when United are trying to go on the attack. How do you think it's gone for him so far?
Can I just say it's a bit harsh on Sanchez, worst signing since Bebe. It's a bit harsh on Bebe as well. I think you've had worse players than that. But not that I can remember Bebe that well, so obviously he didn't play much.
To be honest, he hardly played Bebe.
It's a bit of a peculiar one. You expected him to get more goals for Manchester United, but he's not really playing as a forward, is he? Like as a striker, is he? He's playing more in a wide area, isn't he?
Well, yeah, as I was saying during the music break, he's not really there to score the goals. He's there to provide them instead.
But when you're not providing that many goals either, it's also not working out well. I think for the hype around the transfer, he's a good player, don't get me wrong, and he's a quality player on his day. But I think with the hype around the transfer and the fact that he was joined Manchester United, they had the big battle with City for him, you'd expect him to have done a lot more. Whether that's the system, whether that's his attitude, I'm not sure. But you would have expected a bit more from Sanchez. The rumour of him going back to Arsenal, I think, is just lazy journalism, to be honest. I can't see him go back to Arsenal. I think if he left Manchester United, he'd go abroad somewhere.
What do you think about that, Conor?
What? He's the worst signing since Bebe?
Yeah.
No, that's a lie.
Yeah. I was thinking Di Maria. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
59.7 million.
Yeah.
And you only have him for a season.
Yeah.
And he scores 4 goals for you.
Yeah.
Sanchez has already got 3.
Yeah.
So he just needs 1 more in the next 40 games.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, Sanchez it's not been the easiest of rides for him, but yeah, again, out of all the other players, who else has had a better ride than him? Because, Pogba's first season wasn't that great either, but it's coming nicely for him now, especially against the young boys the other day. But Conor, there was moments from Sanchez last season at Man United that, for example, the Man City win, when they went there and won 3 goals to 2 after being 2-0 down, he set up Pogba twice to get them back into the game. It spells like that's why Mourinho signed him in the first place. Well, I say Mourinho, it might have been Ed Woodward, we don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Ed Woodward because he just doesn't come across to me as a Mourinho player. Like, I don't think he tracks back that too often to defend. He's just more of a forward-thinking player in that sense. And you make these cases about him potentially leaving in January to Arsenal or going abroad. It's like, well, why would he want to leave right now? Pretty fine being probably the best paid, the highest paid player at the club right now. I don't know if there's anyone paid more than him.
But surely that's pressure on him for not performing.
Why would it be pressure on him?
Well, because he's not performing.
He's got a contract until 2021.
True, but people could just go and buy him.
But United would have to buy him out his contract. So either way, he's getting the money. It's just a foolish and another bad mistake by Manchester United. And
Ed Woodward, you mean?
It doesn't matter who made it. It's the football club overall. And
it's Ed Woodward who makes the final decision.
So you're going to pin everything on Ed Woodward now.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not on that side at all.
You just did then.
No, I'm just saying the facts.
Right. So we got this situation now where
United I never said Ed Woodward.
You got this situation now where United fans basically don't like Sanchez because of the way. No.
I'm just reading from what a fan said.
Yeah. So United fans don't like Sanchez because of the way that he's performing. What did he do really bad against Wolves that made you think he's terrible?
I don't know. I've had no problems with.
Probably because
Sanchez.
You can't remember anything that he did anything bad. He's probably been one of the best players for United this season. Can you name a considerable amount of players that have been better than him? Probably Luke Shaw. Pogba. I don't even think De Gea's been that good this season. Pogba's just been scoring from the penalty spot. Lukaku. Maybe he's got the 4 goals, but
Diego Dalot's debut just
very inconsistent. Diego Dalot's debut, ongoing and waiting in the Premier League.
Yeah. I will say this now about Dalot though, just from another subject. It was only against the young boys, so I'm not going to get too hyped about that. But yeah, I'm not the one who wants Sanchez to go. I'm just reading.
He's not a Mourinho player, and United should have seen this from the off. Do you know why he was brought in?
What, Mark?
Just to get the better hand on City because they wanted him.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why he was brought in. And what did they do for him? Probably ruin their chances of signing a bunch of other players because they're paying him to stay at the football.
What is it,
club.
500,000 a week or something?
Something ridiculous like that.
£500-600 a week.
Yeah.
So now we've got this situation where United fans don't like him anymore and they don't want him at the football club, as you're saying, potentially being sold in January and whatnot. It's not going to happen because United would have to pay him out his contract. United haven't been able to spend any money in any sort of deal for quite some time. And so paying out his contract in the next 2 years in order for him to go leave to another football club where he potentially won't get any game time because of the fact that the form he's got at United, so to say, is bad. He's not going to get the desired contract that he wants there, so he's going to be asking to be paid out of his current contract in order to leave. And then you've got the situation of, well, how much are you going to sell him for? Well, you did a swap deal for Mkhitaryan, who's arguably had a much better Arsenal career over the past 6 months than what Sanchez has had at United. But are they the same value now? Probably not. How much would you get for Sanchez now? Well, he's approaching 30, so he's on the borderline of coming past his peak. And, if we're going to say now, his form's been terrible for United, arguably one of the biggest football clubs in the world, then he's past his peak, and therefore you're not going to get the same return on him. So how much did you get for Mkhitaryan the other day? Was it 60 million you spent? Something like that?
About 40, I think.
There you go. Probably going to get about 40 million for him, which is completely ridiculous for a player of Sanchez's quality because no one's going to pay for that form. And then the situation is, well, who's going to come in and pay for him? Probably not that many people.
Man City.
Well, City probably don't really want him.
Don't want him
anymore. They don't need him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a difficult situation. So he never should have been there in the first place. There's plenty of other players at United already that could easily do his job. Martial, Rashford, if you wanted to. Lingard, he could play in that position. You even got that Pereira kid. He probably deserves a couple more chances after his
Those free kicks aren't bad.
Decent start to the season. And I don't know about that Dalot guy. I don't know if he's a wing back, but he
is a right back.
Progressive Mourinho should be thinking about changing his formation first rather than criticising Sanchez for any of his place. So,
well, I mean, he didn't criticise Sanchez, just the fans. But
I'm pretty certain he is in the changing room.
Well, I don't know. I'm not in the changing room, so don't ask me. But all I'd say is, do you think? I mean, when you look at Man U on Saturday, Wolves though, can I just say Wolves are having a great start to the season, aren't they? They got a draw at Man United. To them, it felt like a victory. I mean, I was there. The fans were absolutely delighted. For United fans, it felt like a defeat. Joe, Wolves are certainly setting their mark.
Oh, they've done fantastic. And what a goal by Moutinho.
It was a good goal, yeah.
What a finish that was. I was surprised when I heard the score, because obviously I heard the half-time score of the tunnel when I was there at the Liverpool game Saturday, and it said 1-0 United. I thought, United will just cruise it second half. Get out the stadium, find out 1-0. Big shocker. I expected United to obviously go on to win. Obviously, they beat Watford the week before, so I thought they'd build on that result, but obviously it seems to be your home form that's the trouble, not the away form, which is weird because... In previous years, Old Trafford's been a fortress for Manchester United, and then
they struggled to get a result against Watford. They lost to Brighton. Who else you played away from home this season?
We away from home.
Yeah.
Watford, Brighton. I think
you haven't just played 2 away.
No, we've played at least 3, haven't we, in the Premier League? I can't remember all of a sudden.
I'm sure you got a result on the other away game now.
Burnley,
yeah.
And
you only just mustered through that game with 10 men.
Well, actually, yeah. Matches got sent off against Watford.
You almost drew the Leicester game at home.
Yeah.
You drew Watford. And who else did you play at home?
We beat Watford.
No. You drew Wolves, sorry. And who else did you play at home?
Leicester. Well, we've talked about them.
Yeah, you almost drew that game.
Wolves we just drew against. I think we've only played 2 home. No, we've played 3 home games. I can't remember the other one. No, we lost. No, did we lose? I can't remember.
You lost to Spurs.
That was it, Spurs.
And you lost to Spurs?
Yeah.
So, what needs to change then? It's obviously Mourinho's tactics, because they're not working.
Well, I mean, let's talk about what Paul Pogba said. He said in a quote, I don't know if it was from after Saturday's game or on Sunday, but I saw in the paper when we were on our way here that Pogba is demanding that Mourinho should change his... from negativity to attack.
That's what he is. He's just defensive.
In all fairness to Pogba, he's had a great season so far. I mean, I know...
Penalty spot goals.
But also assists. He's claimed quite a few assists this season, which was why we signed him. But overall...
I just think United are really overrated at the moment. I think they're really, really poor.
Oh, no, I'm not. I don't think they're doing very well. I mean, I'll be honest. When we beat the Young Boys, I was thrilled because we actually won by 3-0. We don't win. We can't. The only problem I have with United right now is we can't score.
Yeah, but you nearly threw it away at the end of the game. You nearly had two goals conceded against you. One of them hit the post, and the other one was saved by De Gea. If De Gea wasn't there, you'd probably be down on points at the moment in the Champions League.
I'm not being funny. But I said years ago when Ferguson announced his retirement, I said to United fans, just watch it, it'll be a slippery slope for you. You're going to struggle. They all said to me, oh, you're just being bitter, you're just jealous, blah, 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 because Liverpool weren't doing well. I said, no. I said, watch. I said, because whoever takes over, it doesn't matter how many managers you have afterwards, they're always going to be compared to Ferguson. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because obviously he did fantastic, arguably one of the greatest managers in football, if not the greatest, and it pains me to say that. But I said, what comes afterwards, it's not going to be good enough. United fans have got that expectation level, and that's what crippled Liverpool after the 80s and 90s, early 90s. It crippled them in the 70s, 80s, because they couldn't get to that level, and then it crippled them, and it's still affecting the club now. And that's what Manchester United have got to look out for. They don't want to become in the situation that Liverpool did when the Premier League started. They didn't react, they didn't spend the money, they didn't react to the league, and now they're still playing catch-up, and United have overtaken their haul. Whereas United were building and building, collecting trophies, and City is starting to try and do the same thing as United now. That's the worry for Man United fans, is are they going to become what happened to Liverpool?
And let's mention as well, the boss, he's back.
Yeah.
Was at Old Trafford.
It's good to see him back.
It's good to see him back after his brain surgery. But, I tell you what we could do with picking his brains at the moment, really, to sort ourselves out.